Hello, everyone, and welcome to Econ 100 Principles of Macroeconomics. My name is Masao Suzuki, and I will be your professor this semester. Um, Excuse my rather casual attire. This is my last days of all online teaching, and so I'll be a little more dressed up, not really dressed up, when you see me in class next week. Of course, we've just been through the worst pandemic the world has seen in the last 100 years. But that and 800,000 dead Americans aside, it's a great time to study economics. So we've gone through the sharpest economic contraction on record here in the U.S. Now, it's not the longest one. In fact, it's probably the shortest recession we've ever had back in March and April of 2020. But boy, in those 2 months, the economy really tanked for um, uh, the economy shrunk by over 9% just in a 3-month period, which is a record outdoing anything in even the Great Depression. The economy was shrinking at about 10% a year. Of course, the downhill went on for 3 years, so that was a lot worse. And then following that, we had a rather unprecedented almost 2 years of very strong economic growth. The unemployment rate, what's that? Well, we'll talk about it in class, dropped from well over 15% down to a little less than 4%. And at the same time, and this is actually typical behavior, inflation rose. Now, what's not typical is it rose as of December of 2021. The consumer prices were on average about 7% higher than in the end of 2020. This is the fastest rate of inflation in 40 years. It does make me feel old because I know I'm sitting there reading about it and going, oh, I've seen worse inflation back in the 70s. But anyway, that isn't really relevant for almost all of you in class who, I don't know your ages, but I'll be fairly safe betting you don't really remember the 1970s. Now, I should note there were some signs of weakness in December. Retail sales really tanked. One economist characterized the report as terrible. And it was much worse than what most economists expected. Many newspapers sort of blamed it on the Omicron surge of the COVID virus. But the thing is, online sales tanked 8.7%, 4 times as much as sales overall. Whereas if it was really due to the pandemic, you would think that online sales would strengthen. Bars and restaurant sales did go down, but at only less than half the rate of overall sales. And again, if it were mainly the virus, you'd expect people to, stop. If they're not going to shop because of the virus, they probably will stop going out to bars and restaurants. So in my opinion, I think we might be seeing sort of the strong economic growth that was fueled by both massive government borrowing and spending, and also very low, record low interest rates starting to run out of gas. So I think a lot of economists think that we could be in for a very bumpy ride this year as a number of government programs. Of course, the relief checks are long over. The eviction moratorium ended, I think, last August. The expanded unemployment insurance benefits ended in September. Student loan moratorium has been extended through the middle of the year. But in addition, and this wouldn't have shown up in December, the expanded child tax credit also ran out in December, so it's no longer around this month. So as you will find out in class, I tend to be more pessimistic about the economy than most economists. So I think while the last 2 years have generally surprised economists sort of on the upside with much stronger growth, I think this year we could get some surprises on the downside. And I think some wealthy stock investors might think so too, with stocks being down for the first 2 weeks of the year back to back. Now, let's get to the class. I had hoped to start teaching in person in the fall so I could use the summer to reorganize my class, figure out what's the best things to take from teaching online, what to keep, what to change. But anyway, that was not to be. The district and the college and my dean are all like, we've got to reopen. So in the face of this new surge with record numbers of cases, and in fact, typically the Bay Area has been better than the country as a whole during most of the pandemic, excepting maybe some of the very early days where we had some of the first cases in the country here. But actually recently, San Mateo County has actually had higher infection rates than the national average. And I know the major colleges and universities, San Francisco State, UC Berkeley, San Jose State, Stanford, have started their classes all in person, but our board actually discussed it, and it's like full speed ahead, damn the virus. Oh yeah, and we're supposed to be getting substitutes in case I get sick. So in fact, I have been doing that. It's actually been good to get in contact with other teachers. So if I get sick, I will let you all know, and assuming I'm not so sick I can't talk, we'll have an online Zoom session, which I will send to you, but probably not until early in the morning. If you're sick, please don't come to campus. The lecture notes will be all online. I don't record my lectures, but if you, well, actually I don't. But if you have a friend in the class, you can ask them to do it. And all the assignments will be online. The test will be in person, but if you miss the test date for whatever reason, you can take a makeup exam online. Now note, you can only take the test one time, but you do have a choice. Same thing goes both for the midterms and for the final. I will not be the standard practice before the pandemic, as if you don't show up on the first day and you don't let me know, I'm supposed to drop you from the class. But don't worry, that is not going to happen. I'm going to get in touch with you if you don't show up on the first day, and you just need to either come to class on Friday or do the first assignment, and then I'll be like, okay, you're really here in the class. And I will make multiple attempts to contact you, so don't worry. And while oversleeping is not the best reason to miss class, if you're gone, as long as you come back or do an assignment, then that's cool with me. In terms of emailing me, I do have a regular campus email address, but it's much better to use Canvas for two reasons. First of all, we have, a rather crappy email system, and many emails that come from students using your my SMCCD account other staff, faculty, they end up in my spam folder, and sometimes I miss them and they get deleted. So please, please use the Canvas email. It shows up twice. It shows up in my Canvas email box and it shows up in my regular email box. And I don't know, somehow the district email knows that if it's coming from Canvas, it's not spam. So please try and use the Canvas emails. I should note that won't work until either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So if you open this up and you can't, well, actually, I guess you can't get into Canvas. If you can get into Canvas, you can use, and seeing this video, you can use the Canvas email. I will plan to see you on Wednesday, August 18th. We'll be meeting Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but Monday is a holiday in commemorating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. So I'll see you on Wednesday. The latest news I have is that we'll be meeting in building 7, room 110. So that's on the first floor as you walk in. The main door is across from the cafeteria building. It's right, well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that language. It's just to the left, okay? And I will also let you know if there's any last minute changes. I certainly hope not. The room is plenty big, so we can have social distancing. In fact, I might ask you not to sit in the front row. I am going to be masked up. Please let me know if you have any issues with understanding what I'm saying. I haven't really lectured in a mask before, but we'll work through it. And I look forward to seeing you masked up next week. All right, then. This is Masao Suzuki, your professor of economics, saying welcome to Macroeconomics. Let's study the economy. Bye.